in the world.
Because but where did that story come from? Because it's not like they have internet, Instagram, social media. They're not Googling a whole bunch of crap. They literally, that was something that was passed down from their elders. That this cave, there's literally a race living down there, and we have to protect it.
Oh, that just reminds me. That's one of the legends of the Apaches in the area of New Mexico. Talk about something like monsters living under that plateau for thousands of years. Which was just so cool, that exists in real life, and this base clarifying. Anyways, I thought that was dope.
Yeah, so there's tons of that all over the world.
Interesting stuff.
It's kind of crazy. Matt, did you find something in Colorado?
I did. I wanted to find something a little more local, and I kept coming upon. It was interesting when I looked up secret bases. There was legitimate people within intelligence communities who were saying they're secret bases, but you don't know where they are. There's no rumors on the internet that are actually true about this stuff because they're secret.
Dun, dun, dun,
dun. And it's funny that they were talking about the continuity of government, the COG, is where I started going down. If there was ever a huge disaster or a nuclear war or whatever, they have this contingency plan where they send top people, and apparently this guy was saying it's a thing of movies and TV where they will whisk the president out immediately. They'll try and protect him, but he's not necessarily the first person who will get put in this bunker should shit go down. And he was talking about actually the majority of these underground bunkers are designed and put together by billionaires who have the money to buy a missile silo and design a bunker in the ground because they're all
because they
completely believe that shit's going to go down at some point.
Exactly.
Yeah, they can afford it. So they decked out these old missile silos, like I said, and other things that kind of go down on the ground, and they have this, they can survive for so many years in this plush underground facility that they spent billions on to try and create. But it got me to this old myth or legend, or maybe it's a reality, I don't know, about the Denver International Airport.
Ooh, I can't wait to hear this. Let's pause, Mr. O'Connor, and let's hit this up right after the break.
All right.
So tell us about the base, because having flown in and out of that airport a lot, there's some really creepy murals. America.
Murals.
Some very creepy
American murals. Yeah, they're
too much apple cider.
There are some interesting there is some interesting stuff at this base. To begin with, as soon as you ever Google DIA, Denver International Airport, you'll see this gigantic blue horse.
Yep.
That sits outside on the drive in to the airport, and it's this terrifying looking thing. It's got these glowing red eyes. It's bright blue, and it's rearing up on its hind legs. You'll probably know it if you see it, but everyone it's known
it's really
as
called
Blucifer.
that? It's really called that?
Apparently.
Oh.
No, it's not actually called that. It's just a local legend name.
I thought it was a representation of the
Lucifer.
Oh, I know, but
it's for the Denver Broncos.
For horse apocalypse. I can't talk.
Oh yeah. That's what people say. It's the harbinger of the apocalypse. But there is an interesting story behind it where it actually killed the person who created it.
I remember that. Yeah, go on. Yeah.
Which is interesting. When he was creating it, I think it was the headpiece, fell on him and crushed him and severed a bunch of arteries, and he kind of bled to death. But his children ended up finishing it for him. And apparently the red eyes are they're these bright neon eyes because his father used to own a neon sign shop.
Sure.
And it was a ode to them.
That's not sexy.
Anyway, yeah, apparently. I know. But anyway, that's kind of interesting. And then there's those... we'll start on... There's this plaque within the place that's dedicated to the Oh, we'll get to the mural in a second. There's this plaque that's dedicated to the Freemasons that people keep pointing to, because the Freemasons were one of the groups that was helped chip in a bunch of money to help build it. But there's this. It's an interesting mural. Sorry, not mural. This is the plaque. It's an interesting plaque. It's a stone plaque, and it's got the square and compass and the Freemason symbol at the top of it, and it thanks them for helping to build the place. But there's an interesting note on it that says it's dedicated to the New World Airport Commission, which is a really odd name, especially for the fact that that doesn't exist. It's not a thing. The New World Airport Commission doesn't exist. The official story is that it was the group of companies and individuals that kind of put in the money to help build it, is their little name that they call themselves. But it's a really New World Airport Commission.
Weird.
It's like a interesting name. And when you put together that with, let's get to the murals now. There's several murals throughout, and they're by this artist called Leo Tanguma. And they would, I forget what year they were put out. Anyway, it's been there for a while. There's several of them, though, and it kind of depicts this really, terrifying scene of this militant Nazi Stasi kind of group that comes in and takes over and is wiping out the planet, and there's pollution that's killing all the animals, and there's this.
There's kids.
I think they changed it recently
kids,
too.
There's
a kid in
running,
a coffin,
right? Isn't there?
Yeah, and there was. I'm pretty sure I got this right, but there was there used to be one of the parts of the mural was this kid sitting in a coffin, dead, with other people around it, all sad and stuff.
Happy travels.
I think they might have changed that because it was a bit too harsh. Yeah. I think they commissioned it to come and paint over the top of that, put a smile on her face or something. I don't know, but they, but it kind of depicts the scene, and then it's there's resolution where all the children of the world fight back and destroy the oppressing militant group, and all is happy.
That's a whole story. That's a whole story in that
it's just
one painting.
Really odd.
We're not even to the underground
it tells
part.
a whole
We're
story.
just on the
It's
surface
pretty.
of
It's
DIA
pretty
right now.
I know we haven't got there yet, but it's it just why it's just an interesting thing to put on the New World Airport, But the artist said, "Look, there's nothing." I even heard a rumor. I couldn't find this anywhere, but someone had told me once that this guy had said in some interview somewhere that he was in a trance when he made it.
Is
he doesn't remember ever painting it.
very strange, but
Which is fucking crazy. And I couldn't find that anywhere. I'll just put that under rumor for now. Anyway, he was interviewed about it because apparently this huge tour bus full of conspiracy theorists pulled up at his house one day and were demanding answers from him. What the hell are you thinking, pal?
a tour bus.
So anyway, he says they weren't. This is the quote. He says they weren't hostile, but they did ask a lot of questions. And I explained the painting like I explained to everyone. The first part of the environmental mural is about the ways that humans destroy nature and themselves through destruction and genocide. The second part is about humanity coming together to rehabilitate nature and revive their own compassion.
But why is that at an
it's a
airport?
lovely story.
It's just so strange. Put that in an art show.
I know.
But it's just an odd
I know.
thing.
It is just a really odd thing. I mean, it's beautifully done. It's a gorgeous painting, but just really, cray-cray. But it's interesting. So there's all these rumors about there being all this underground base built underneath, and all these connecting tunnels. Because I think is it NORAD that's in Colorado Springs.
But there's also a base in the
underneath the
Cheyenne
mountain in Colorado
Mountain.
Springs.
I mean, there's other stuff all over in Colorado.
Yeah, there's a tunnel that connects the airport to this company called Gaia. You guys ever heard of that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't.
We do hear that one too.
People that work there,
special.
you just take that tunnel to the airport. You don't even need to take a cab or anything.
Yeah, it's super convenient. It's really lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ahoy!
Oh my god. people, we're joking.
Okay, come on,
Or
get
are
to the
we?
elevators that like never end and like
anyway.
go down like
Or are we?
millions of
Okay.
levers.
Well, this is the rumor that there's like all this, you can't find anything official about this, obviously, but there was this. So apparently, it was budgeted for like 1.5 to 2 billion. The numbers kind of change depending on where you read it, but it blew out the budget to like 5 million. So it went over like this crazy. Sorry, billion. Did I say million? I meant billions. So it blew out like by a few billion. And they were saying like, how does that happen? Like that's fucking crazy. Like maybe a few million over if you don't, you ran into problems, but billions over. So that's where they're saying, all this went into this secret tunnel ground system that goes underneath. And there's like apparently these elevators that go all the way down. And they even had like, there was a news story where a guy was like, oh, I'm going down to the lower levels and it's sure to be a good time. We're going to see some aliens. And apparently he was like, they only took me to level, I think he said it was like level 3. And they said, okay, this is as far as it goes. And he noticed it was like 2 and 1. He's like, I don't think that's true.
Huh.
Okay. And it was like this area where they were said it was going to be. So apparently where they blew out of the budget, the official story was there was going to be this like high-tech luggage system where you would drop your luggage off and it'd do these conveyor belts all the way under the airport and it'd take it directly to your airplane. But it was like this horribly mismanaged
That's what
thing.
they always say about black budget
and
stuff.
I just won't believe, I just won't believe the government's that highly unorganized and they just bungle things all the time. That just doesn't never happen. But it just is like that's their official story. Is like, oh yeah, it was going to be this high-tech thing and it never happened and we wasted all this money trying to build it. Anyway, it's I couldn't really find anything of substance other than people sort of, talking about these rumors and there's a lot of stories of people who have worked. There's a guy who was talking about he worked on the train system and he used to hear like crazy stuff at night, like howls and moaning and stuff in the tunnels. But people say like, it could be the wind too. So I don't know. But it's funny that the official like Denver airport itself did this whole like advertising campaign. It was completely like, have you seen it?
Yeah.
I don't know if you've flown in out of there recently, but they have all these posters up where they're like, they basically promote this conspiracy like it's a big joke, and they have all these like hard hats with the all-seeing eye on it and talking about like the lizard people, and they have like these photos of like lizards with talking on cell phones and stuff, and it's like it's almost like, what are you people doing? Like
they're like, we should do for Christmas this year. We should do a whole collage on the whole conspiracy. What a great idea, Betty! Like that's what happened,
right? It almost seems like hiding it in plain sight kind of thing.
Dude, they have a museum in there, I think, with like a fake alien
really
head that they promote like as being funny. There's like a whole little museum in there, I think.
Oh, yeah. There's a whole like they just set up this like I don't know how much this whole thing cost, but this huge advertising campaign about all the conspiracies, and there's like underground constructions and what's happening behind the wall, because they're constantly like having construction and building stuff there all the time. And so they're like saying, "Oh yeah, this is where the secret tunnels are going and stuff."
It's
so I don't know.
odd.
It's like a really odd thing to kind of lean into. But anyway, I don't know. It's that one's kind of up in the air. I don't know. It would. There's like I said, there's kind of pointing towards it being one of those COG continuity of government kind of situations where it would be, because it's like a hub basically in the center of the country. It's like an easy access point to send important people down into a bunker should they need to. But
so what are you saying? It's not conspiracy like it's an alien base. You're saying they built it and are hiding something potentially that is for the government to go to in case of worldwide pandemic or like something crazy.
This kind of like advertising thing where they're kind of making fun of the whole thing, it feels like it's one of those things designed to be like, you know, if there was ever a legitimate thing that pops up,